Hey guys, FilmmakerJ here. Sorry about that. Well, you guys all know that I'm a budding voice actor, right? I mean, that's why I got this microphone over here, my Behringer C1. This is the boy I've been working with this whole past about 5 years or so. And as a fellow young voice actor who still hasn't quite broken into the business, I wanted to voice a few concerns that I had about my fellow peers, who are creating demo reels at this very moment, possibly. There seems to be a trend going on where you guys are creating demo reels, and the consistent thing that I hear is lines and dialogue and performances that you would typically find in anime or video games like the Final Fantasy games. And that's just a little unnerving to me because I'm concerned for you, okay? And it's not that the voice acting in anime is bad, but when I hear you guys trying to imitate it, you make it sound worse than it actually is. Now, of course, there were older animes that sounded pretty bad back in their day, and that's kind of what you sound more like, okay? Let me see if I can really make this clear right off the bat. As I have seen it, there are two schools of acting, okay? Roughly two schools. You have the theatrical Shakespearean / Broadway type performances on this end of the spectrum here. On the other end, you have the extremely high quality theatrical feature or dramatic TV series performances by the greatest actors of all time. Okay? From all across the decades, this is the end of the spectrum that you have. Okay? These are the people that make you believe that they are really saying what they're saying, and even they believe what they're saying. You do not doubt them for a second. These guys, they're playing it up. They're actors. These guys, you can't tell. I mean, honestly, from what they say and what they do, you can't tell that they're actors. Now, on this spectrum, you also have the different people within voice acting, all right? So, in the middle, I would say you have the American voice actors. All of the really famous voice actors that started it all. Mel Blanc, Paul Frees. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He's one of the biggest players of all time in voice acting. Frank Welker, Bob Bergen, maybe not as much, but still. Tom Kenny, Jim Cummings, Billy West, Rob Paulson, Maurice LaMarche, and a slew of others, including Trez MacNeille and Tara Strong. Okay, these people occupy the very center of this spectrum here. Now, the anime voice actors fall just between the middle and the end, okay? And that's because their acting is more akin to the overly exaggerated and over-dramatic type of acting that you would see in stage plays. You can tell just from watching it that they are overdoing it, they are overselling it. And that's pretty much because anime in itself is an over-exaggerated medium. Everything about the characters is right in your face. Their eyes are just full of obvious emotion, and so they overplay it. No problem with that. You're working with the medium that you are acting in. But the other problem with acting in anime is that you are not dictating their performance. Okay? When you act in anime, especially dubbing anime, you are not dictating the performance. The performance is within the visuals itself. You have to listen to the original acting, you have to watch the visuals, and you have to play to that, finding where their mouths are moving and fit your performance within the windows of opportunity that those mouth movements give you. So you have to work with that. You cannot work around it. You have to work within those windows. But the problem above that is that even the Japanese actors have to do that. The whole anime industry is completely backwards. Okay? Nobody from the beginning or end of the process in anime dictates the performance. The only people who do that are the animators. And you got to give them major props for doing that. The entire performance rests on the shoulders of the people drawing every image. Okay? They have to time it. They have to think about what is this character supposed to convey, how are they doing it, how are they saying it, and they have to do all of it. The actors only have to provide the voice after the fact. Now, they still get awards, I'm sure, in Japan for voice acting and acting in general, and you got to respect them too. But honestly, you can't give as much praise to somebody who does voices after the fact as you do someone who can make you believe in what they're saying. Now, I will admit that yes, voice actors who have to work within the parameters of something that they're dubbing, they have to work harder because they have to fit their voices within this space. It is inherently easier to do this. But the problem we have is that young voice actors that I keep hearing in all these demo reels that they're putting up are doing this. They're doing the voice acting that is meant to be done in the voice acting medium of dubbing. Which means that you're all intentionally trying to sound like people who are trying to work within windows of opportunity to dub something that has already been dubbed. Something that was dictated completely beforehand. No acting was involved in creating the performance. It is an afterthought. Okay? The acting in anime is a complete afterthought both in Japan and in America, or in any other country it's being dubbed in. Basically, that is not the kind of acting you want to aspire to. That is not the kind of acting you should aspire to, okay? It completely holds you back from getting all the other jobs that you could be getting. Alright? Now see, the guys who are in the center, especially Jim Cummings, Rob Paulson, and Mr. Corey Burton, these three guys are amazing, okay? They have the acting chops to give you a performance on this end of the spectrum. 100%. They have all of the inherent and all of the classical training abilities to do this shit. People who are way over here have to work their ass off to give you a performance that you will believe in over here. These guys could pretty much never work over here, or at least I haven't seen it yet. So that's got to give you a clue. If I haven't seen it yet, and I haven't heard it yet, then it's probably not going to happen. Because nobody wants them to work over here. Or maybe they just don't want to work in any other place of the spectrum. They're happy where they are, and that's perfectly fine. But when you're a young voice actor, you need to help yourself out. Okay? You shouldn't want to fit yourself into this niche. You shouldn't want to pinhole and shove yourself into this one section of the voice acting industry. You don't want to tunnel vision yourself for this position. You want to give yourself the opportunity to work in all the other types of media and all the other types of film, television, cartoons, what have you. Because if you don't give yourself that opportunity, then you may be missing out on amazing stuff to work in. Alright? you completely shut yourself out of any other opportunities except this. If you go with this school of acting, where you are essentially performing something that is not there, you know, it's all completely backwards. The animation dictates the acting of the Japanese actors, which dictates the acting of the American actors, and you are dictating your performance on what they have done to fit animation that was done completely beforehand. Do you see how backwards that is? Why would you have no aspiration to dictate the performance of a character that's completely new? Okay? Why would you not want to aspire to you dictating the performance of an animated character? Because if you don't want to do that, then you are missing out on some fantastic opportunities to say that this character is animated based on what you did. Okay? The complete anime industry is nothing but the animation was done first, and you are just providing its vocal cords. You are not providing any part of its performance except what voice comes out of it. The rest of the animation industry, the rest of the voice acting industry, is the other way around. And that's the stuff that you should aspire to. There's no problem with going with this. What I'm saying is, you need to give yourself the opportunity to do anything else. To do everything. And then choose which spot on the spectrum you want to do. Alright? Because if you start at the top, you can do whatever you want. If you start at near the bottom, you have to work your ass off to go all the way up here. Alright? That's what I'm saying. I want you guys to work harder at what you're doing. Okay? I'm not saying you're bad actors. I'm just saying you're not as good as you should be. And you need to work at it. You need to really, really think about what you are saying, how you are performing it. You need to feel it in your gut that you are actually saying this. I mean, think about it. What I'm doing right now is a complete performance. Maybe I'm not really this angry. Maybe I'm not really this concerned. You don't know. Maybe it's all smoke and mirrors. I'm not entirely sure myself. But you know, it's never about impressionism. It's never about trying to create a voice. It's about creating a character, and you must really visualize it. You have to take the character, see who it is, what he's all about, and then you have to have him possess you, in essence. Okay? You either work from the inside out or the outside in. Either way will work. But whatever you do, let it talk through you. Let yourself really become this character and let the dialogue flow forth. Because there's a big difference between reading your lines, memorizing it, and then just saying as it's said on the paper. Because if you read a line, you pause, read another line, you pause, read another line, that's not acting. That is saying a speech. That's giving a speech. That's just filling in, talking. That's nothing. What you should be doing is reading that and saying it at any pace that you believe this character would really say it. Okay? That's what you should be doing. So I hope I've said my piece. I hope I've made it very clear. And I hope your demo reels start getting better out there. Alright? Thanks for listening, everybody. And I shall see you very soon, because after my next impression of a scene from a Jimmy Stewart movie, I'm going to be moving on to the first actual anime I've ever done an impression of. Fooly cooly. You don't think I can do it? We'll see.